This is going to run or die trying before this episode is over. Howdy folks, Heathen with Heathen's Garage here. Let me tell you how it is. We're standing in front of our 1981 Pontiac Parisienne that we got for free off Marketplace. And we called her Sweet Gravy because that's the color of sweet gravy. Now in the last installment of this here, make the car run and give it a different engine and do a whole bunch more work, spending as little money as possible, you saw us finish the video by struggling to get the engine mounted because, well, it's just a little bit too far for our engine crane. And also because, you know, the guy's by himself and the floors are up, and come up with all the excuses you want, doesn't matter. Regardless, the engine's in now. Like, I kind of shut the camera down and I started working that way. I kind of really wanted this to make its debut at the Heathen's Christmas special, you know? So we got into a bit of a rush, and I was like, well, I don't have time to film, I don't have time to edit, and well, now it's Thursday night. We're racing in 3 days. Everything underneath is hooked up. We've got very short exhaust, but we have some exhaust. It's very short, it's this long, you know, like it's on both sides. So it'll be a bit noisy, but the old exhaust was, well, I'll show you a picture of it. It might make more sense then. It was really something what was going on there, and I didn't have the heart to duplicate it, so we fixed a few spark plug wires that looked problematic. We've got the starter in, we've got fuel pump hooked up, we've got the power steering line hooked up, converters hooked up, and bolts are in, and like it's just sort of everything underneath is ready to roll, which means it's time to get it back on the ground and do everything on top. And like, we're gonna do that. Like, we're just gonna tackle that now. This thing really wobbly? Oh yeah, that's why. Okay. That's terrible. Don't fall over. Don't fall over. Was it ever gonna fall? No, it was never gonna fall over. Everything was fine and safe and fine. I got in my own head there, that's all. There was nothing really going on. Now, continuing with our efforts to save a buck, we're gonna just go ahead and reuse this belt if we can get it to go on. We need to make this move closer somehow. Those need to be looser. Oh yeah, we made it all tight for some reason. There we go. This belt is just really tight on there, and I don't know about that. My big story about how we were going to save money and reuse the belt might not have been true. Now we had two engines, right? So I got two belts. This one's way longer. Maybe it'll fit better. Yeah, that's almost too long, isn't it? Yep, that one's too long. Okay, well, we figured that out at least. Because what was going on was I put the Pontiac's crank pulley on, but I've used the pickup truck's power steering pulley, and that is apparently different mounting position or something that made it the wrong belt. Now that I've swapped crank pulley, I have the right length belt. If you're going to do this the wrong way like I'm doing, just be careful, because what you're doing is you're prying on the power steering reservoir right now. And that's arguably not a great idea. So just, if you're going to do it wrong, be careful about it. Boy, I wouldn't call that alignment great, but until it flies off or won't stop squealing uncontrollably, we will carry along. Now, these, of course, line up flawlessly because they're a match set. The alternator, it needs to move forward. Let me show you. I don't know how well you can actually see that, but like those two are perfect, and this one's way back. So, we need more spacer back there. We need this to move forward, and we'll have to space this guy. Well, that was like horribly tedious, but here's what we ended up with. 2 nuts, one here and one here, like 3 washers extra there, 2 washers extra there, and now it's basically mint. Now, a guy would have thought you just equally add a bunch of spacers behind everything, but as it turns out, like, I think this mount must be tweaked. Like, it was really bent up on the truck, so that's the one from the car, and either it's different or it's bent, because it doesn't make sense to have to add different things to square up the alternator, but whatever, it's square and it's in alignment, so we'll carry on. Now this fan is unfortunately cooked. You can see it's oozing all of its junk out, and also it does not feel right when you turn it. But it's the one we have right now, so that's what we're going to use. Just going to put it on, knowing that we'll need to replace it in the future, and waiting until we find one for free, or, you know, come across a car that has one or something. You know, just let fate decide when we replace this. Hopefully, since it's the dead of winter, it won't overheat in the meantime. Give you a fun fact. Those bolts that hold the fan and drive for the water pump on, they're fine thread, which I didn't realize till now. The ones off the truck are way too long because it had a spacer. And the ones from the car are studs. Well, we got one. It's a little jarred up because I'm using vice grips, but I think I can fix it. And if you can get one, you can probably get the rest. Now, this right here, folks, this is going to be sort of like what saves the day. This is called the thread chase set, and we're going to use it. So this is one of the worst ones right here, and this is one I've already chased. Now we'll chase this one up, and you can have a look and see if you think it's worthwhile. Now, as far as usage, it's really easy to use. You just thread it on like a nut. And it's a lot like a tap. It's just also a bit easier. Now, in this case, we're obviously installing the stud at the same time, but that's fine. I won't lie to you, it's easier with both hands. Hang on. How about that, hey? Pretty not bad. There's the one I already did. There's the one I said I was going to do. And there's the two I haven't done. Pretty not bad. And that right there is our final belt alignment. Oh, come on. It's, like, it's pretty not bad. I don't know if I'd call it perfect. But for the engine that's only going to spin like 4,000 RPM, it's probably good enough. The power steering might come off. We'll see. And that, folks, is enough for me tonight. Because it's 10 o'clock. I haven't eaten supper. I have to work tomorrow. And I ran out of propane like an hour ago. And I'm quite cold. Well, it's a new day. It didn't get any warmer. We still don't have sweet gravy put together. We worked on it till late last night. We're almost there, but we're not quite. So we're gonna go back in there, but I wanted to show you that first. Look at these big guys, eh? That ought to keep us warm. We only have the downstairs running right now. The upstairs is, we'll get him ready when we're ready. But that's how we're gonna keep the barn warm tomorrow instead of our little propane one. Here's where we're at here. We've got all our hoses run. I think we've got our electrical run. And basically, we're really close to ready. Albeit with one glaringly obvious thing kind of missing there. This right here is the quadrojet carburetor that should be on there. However, it was on the pickup truck that had been converted to propane. And, well, there's a bunch of stuff here that's kind of not there. So this might not have worked properly, and this probably wasn't going to work properly, and the long and the short of it is, I didn't have enough stuff, and I don't really play with Q-jets very often, so I didn't have any spares either. Also, we were out of time for rebuilding one. That's what I wanted to do, was just rebuild one and carry on, but we just didn't have enough time. We did have an alternative, and just bear with me, because we blew the budget. There it is. Brand new, shiny quadrojet carburetor. Now these are available on Amazon. It was 240 Canadian dollars, which is like, I don't know, 180 American. And it's all the money, especially for this old car, but I kind of thought maybe this will net us with a little bit of reliability on start day and save us a bunch of time. And I've never owned a new carburetor, and I decided this was its minute. was for me to buy a new quadrijet. Also, because I don't know anything about quadrijets and I didn't want to fight it. Hopefully it works good. You take a gamble on that getting Amazon parts, but we'll try it. Look at that, hey, isn't that pretty? Pretty nice. I never had a new carburetor before. That's pretty cool. Now, I know the Frostfighter is sort of screaming out there, and that's fine with me, because I'm warm. For the first time ever working in this barn in the wintertime, I am comfortably warm. That's kind of like a Christmas present to myself. Just like this carburetor was a Christmas present for Sweet Gravy. Anyways, we're going to get some oil in this thing, because I just installed the dipstick, and, well, there isn't very much oil there. Now, I know you might be thinking, that is neither a hot rod nor a classic, and that looks like expensive oil, but somebody forgot the lid on it. I think the lid may have been forgotten on it for, you know, many months. Which means I don't want to put it in my good stuff. And this oil that's in here, it's probably going to get changed right away after we get it running, because, you know, the thing was upside down and full of water and all those reasons. So we're just going to dump this in there and go from there. Okay, now what we're doing is we've got the fuel line hooked up. We got about 2 or 3 gallons in the tank. Now you might recall in the last episode I blew some fuel, or rather some air, through the fuel tank to try and see if I had anything in it. And nothing came out the other end other than air. So what we've done now is we poured about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 gallons in the fuel tank. Happily nothing's dripping underneath. We're going to try and suck some fuel up there. Now to do that, we've got this rubber hose attached to our fuel line. It comes over into this tank and it's got a slot in it, see? Then we take our air hose, we put it in that slot, we pull the trigger. That creates a bit of a venturi and it pulls all the fuel in there. Now what I don't know is if you can pull through a fuel pump. I can't remember if that works or not, so it's an experiment at this point in time, I guess. Oh, it sucked fuel up fast. You can tell it worked because there's fuel dripping. That's great. Other than I wish there wasn't fuel dripping. Now it's about that time that I showed you guys a more helpful tip. So you gotta fill the radiator, right? And you're using a bucket of coolant that's used, because that's what you have. And you don't got no funnel handy that's like big, you know? Your Coke bottle's too small. The old oil jug, well, it's only a 1 liter, so it's no good. Wander back in the house for a minute. Right here. Give it a rinse first, though. But this right here, this is the ticket. Because a milk jug fits really good right there. Like, look how nice that is. Still gotta go slow. Can't go too crazy. I don't hear it running on the ground, so that's a good sign. Well, this thing is, I think we're ready to try it. We haven't hooked the battery up yet, but we got one in there and it's fresh and warm and charged. Like it's old and it was free. But we gotta do something free because carburetor was money. Like, I think I got everything hooked up. Well, everything we need. We won't have any gauges because I don't know what wire does what. We're going to hook the battery up, see if we get smoke out of it, and go from there. Ow. We hooked up the battery and look at that. We got hazard lights. That's pretty cool. Oh, they work in the back too. Cool. No way. Look at that. No way the clock works. They never work. Cool. Probably enough of that. Hey, it's time to actually try and start it now. The freshly charged battery that I was kind of excited about it's no good. It says 10 now, and it started at 12.8, and all I did was touch the key one time. And when I touched it again, I got the better half of Heathen's garage to give it a crank, and it dropped to like 3 volts when trying to crank. So that battery's got to come out, and we'll find a better one. Alright, we got a different battery in there, and it might be better. We'll see. feed a little fuel in there and see what happens, hey? I forgot to warn you.
Oh, no fire though.
No, it just started and ran like it's supposed to. It started so good, and it sounded like it was on most of its cylinders and everything. Well, after it ran for a second, it was on most of its cylinders. Also, it was idling, which is even more wonderfuler. Now we kind of got to let the shop de-smokify. The next time you see Sweet Gravy, it's going to be going round the racetrack. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Bye.